everyone, and welcome to a new season 2 of Making a Difference in Mental Health. I am your host, Danielle Young, with my co host. Hey, Wendy, how are you?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Danielle. We are live, sort of.
Yeah.
Today was the day that we were going to be in our podcast studio, but the weather wasn't permitting us to get together. So we are filming in two different locations, but we're still live. People can see us as
Yep.
opposed to last season. So I'm very excited. Very excited to see you today.
I'm excited to see you too. I'm excited. I don't know if you caught it, but you said our podcast studio. Yes, everyone, we have a podcast studio. We cannot wait to begin to film together. But we are, like you said, Wendy, in this time where the weather today is not permitting, but we are still in COVID. So we've been trying to make certain arrangements and trying to make certain adjustments so that we can continue to bring you all information about mental health and have great conversations about it. And we're getting there. We're getting there.
Right. So I think we're going to, definitely have to kick it off and talk about the elephant in the room, COVID,
Yeah.
with our first guest, who is going to be coming in, hopefully in the studio if she can live. If not, we'll record her, but you and I will be live.
Yes.
So she can talk about her experience when we're in year 2 of COVID and how it's going on the front lines as she provides services to our clients.
And it's interesting because I know that when we started the podcast, I mean, we were right in the thick of COVID. And I don't even think we knew, no one could project where we would be, and here we are in January of 2022, and we are still in COVID. I think, like you said, we're going on year 2. Yeah. So,
Right. It has been a hard 2 years for everybody.
yeah.
Children to teachers to clinicians to parents. So we want to make sure we have a very well-rounded conversation about that and let people know that you're not alone. This has been a very traumatic experience for all of us. And what can we do to look forward to the future and move forward? So I'm looking forward to that conversation. It should be
Mhm.
really, really
Mhm.
fun, really, really interesting with our therapist who sees this every day.
Right. And I think it'd be good to, again, hear yet another voice from a mental health clinician that works with clients that are adjusting and dealing with COVID and other life challenges. And also, what can she provide from her perspective? What can she provide to our audience to encourage, empower, uplift, to, support from a mental health perspective? So I am excited for our next guest to come. Mhm.
And I have to sneak this in. I'm also excited to hear her experience of the kids returning to school, kids distance learning again, and then going back to school
Yeah.
as we try to continually adjust, sometimes on a weekly basis, with this virus. So I want to hear how kids are being impacted right now. You and I spoke last season about what was happening with our clients, our young people, and we had a guest on to talk about that, aka my daughter. But
Yes.
now
Very
I'm really
candid
excited.
conversation. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
excited to see where we are. It's good data. It's a good thing
Right.
to look at and see how kids have progressed, possibly
Mhm.
regressed. We'll have to see. We'll wait and
I,
hear from our guest.
yeah, and I think you hit it on the head too, where even myself, I'm part of the community schools program through Prince George's County, and we are also seeing the same thing where kids were just now adjusting to being back in school, and then with the peak of the newest variant, I believe last season, we may have been in that Delta variant era, but this
Right.
time it is the
Omicron.
Omicron variant, and I'm not quite sure what the next one will be, but they were just getting used to being able to be in school, and then we had to go back out, and they're virtual again, and now we're back in. So all of these changes that even our little ones are trying to adjust to. So it will be great to have that conversation and just hear from another professional from their perspective what they've been experiencing and how they've been helping clients.
Exactly. I think we'd be remiss not to talk about it.
Mm.
So we look forward to that. I'm excited about this topic, Danielle. Social media,
Oh, yes, social media.
social media and mental health. And we have
Mm.
another guest coming, another therapist with ABH coming on to talk about that. Has a lot of experience with the topic. And I think, given what's been happening in the country and how powerful social media is and
Yeah.
how everyone's looking at Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, I think it's a good topic to bring for discussion.
Yeah, and I feel like over the past 2 years, really, social media is the way we've been able to stay connected, to connect, to get information, sometimes misinformation or disinformation. But
A lot of time.
but but for the most part, I think we select and we choose and we kind of curate the information that we want to take in, and I just think also social media has allowed for other people, family members, even I can even say for myself, we did virtual Christmas this year. Last year, I believe we did the same thing. We had virtual Thanksgiving as well. So social media has actually come in handy, but it's interesting because we'll be able to look at how social media impacts some of our teenagers, how it impacts our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions, how it impacts the way that we communicate now. What will that look like, in the future? And so I'm really excited to hear what our guest's perspective will be.
Yeah, I think it's simply a pro and con
Yeah.
conversation. What are the
Mhm.
pros? What are the cons? How can you be responsible with social media as you as we are in the age of technology? It's not going anywhere. So how do we use it more effectively?
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, and then what else we got coming up? March. You and I decided because of everything that's gone on with the COVID and just where we are in general in the country, wouldn't it be nice to do something positive? And so we're doing a March series on healing, healing our minds, healing our bodies, healing our souls. So hopefully you and I will take to the road because COVID will be a little bit less threatening, and we can be
Yes.
on the road as we seek out our next guests to discuss healing.
Wendy, I'm actually looking forward to that particular series that we do, like you said, for mind, body, and soul. I do think that when you are centered or when you have all things aligned up, you become a more either a progressive person, progressing in your dreams, progressing in your desires, progressing in your goals. And sometimes I call it, when I work with clients, I call it all the alleles, meaning mentally, physically,
Right.
spiritually, socially, professionally, financially. When all the alleles are lined up, you feel really good from the inside out. And I know some of our clients, some of our guests will be tapping into the spaces of, yeah, I had to do some mindfulness to get myself to a good place of healing. Or I had to do some soul searching. I had to change my lifestyle. And that's what I'm really looking forward to and tapping into that. I think, just personally, like outside of podcasting, when you and I have conversations, we do kind of talk about those things that heal us from the inside out and how healing looks different. So I'm really excited for the guests that we do have coming up.
Absolutely. I wanted to spread, or you and I wanted to spread some positivity
Hmm.
for our
Yeah.
guests, moving in a more positive direction in the year 2022. So, those are just a little bit of our tidbits of what's going to happen on season 2 of our podcast.
Yes, and we are really excited again to be live. Not only can you hear our voices, but you can see our faces. We have a lot coming up for everyone, and we're thankful in advance for you watching Making a Difference in Mental Health. I'm your host, Danielle Young. This is my host, Wendy Grier. We are always striving to make a difference in mental health. We will see you this season. Bye.
Bye bye.